Okay, so we honestly don't need another long form video here to cover this one, since it has so many crossover features of the B50. So let's get right to the points here and move through this one. In the last year, we had the B50. It received a lot of praise, the most budget-oriented HDMI ARC product to date. It came in around $140 and has about, 10,000 features. But it had a very lackluster amplifier inside for most people. Why did they not just give us the option to bypass that internal amp with a set of line outs? It was almost unanimously the most commented complaint, that they wish this just would have been a preamp. Many thought it was fantastic as far as features go and price, but felt the unit was a bit handcuffed with its internal amp offerings. Well, they actually listened and gave us a bit more than we even asked for. Now for $99 as of filming this, you get HDMI ARC, which I feel is the main selling point here. There's nothing else available that'll get you into HDMI at this price point. And it is a true HDMI ARC. You'll get the benefits, from TV sync power on off, as well as volume control through your standard TV remote. In the absolute simplest sense, you could use this as a powerful soundbar replacement that opens you up to a wide range of features a standard soundbar wouldn't even be capable of. So what's inside this one? It's a Sabre ES9023 PDAC. It supports decoding up to 192.24. Likely use case here is you're going to bring your USB from your computer, connect it to the USB-C on the BP50. It's not going to be the be-all end-all DAC by any means, but it's competent and it gets the job done. If you want something more, you can bypass it, but for simply TV sound, this is going to be more than enough. There's a sub out with this one and even some controls within the app. And there's also the deep bass option. At first, while listening to this, I had some acoustic songs on, one of my easy listening mixes with very little bass. And I thought, oh, they must have improved the deep bass switch since the last time I reviewed it on the B50. So for the sake of valid testing, I threw on a track with a lot more of a bass line, and yep, I was quickly greeted with the confirmation I would not advise using bass boost. Ever. I'm pretty sure you can fine-tune the amount of bass boost within their APC workbench. I think it's around a $20 software upgrade you can get into, and it gives you more of a deep dive into the DSP as well as fine-tuning things like deep bass, which should be called deep bass with the B removed. A very notable and useful feature here, though, is the crossover, although I wish they would have allowed a little bit more fine-tuning. You can select, say, 50 Hz and everything below is going to be filtered out for the sub to handle. My only problem is that you have to make adjustments 50 Hz at a time. So it's basically either going to be 50, 100, or 150. It's still appreciated and can certainly help out the desktop user who may be using a really small set of bookshelf speakers. They could throw the 50 or 100 filter on and let the sub handle the low end so that your speakers are relieved of some of the burden, which in most cases will lessen the distortion and allow for a better overall performance. Just to pull you aside for 10 seconds, consider liking and subscribing. I have a pile of reviews in the queue on some really fun products, and without you, it wouldn't even be possible. The BP50 can transmit to 2 Bluetooth headphones simultaneously. It's the same feature the B50 had as well. It's a unique feature for something like this, especially to be able to handle 2 simultaneously. This might come in handy for something like shared spaces. Could be useful to simply catch up on YouTube without disturbing everyone else in the room. Or maybe you don't want to hear your kids playing games loudly in the evening. Or flip the script, and it's you staying up late watching movies and you're trying to avoid waking up the kids. Either way, it's kind of cool and a unique feature. It's a Bluetooth receiver as well, supports aptX HD, LL, and adaptive, as well as AAC. So treat this as your sound hub, connect your phone, tablet, laptop, anything like that really. This one shares the same phono that's in the B50. It's not a reference phono stage by any means, but it's okay. I'd place the sound similar to what you'd get from a budget turntable with a built-in preamp. So it's completely usable, and if you feel the need, it actually supports both MM and MC cartridges. I'm into turntables and I appreciate the input, but in all honesty, I think I would have preferred a second standard line in here, or maybe a switched input between phono and standard line in. An additional single-ended input would open you up to more preamp functions. End of the day, if you're a casual vinyl user, I guess it has you covered. There's an app for that. They call it Go Control. Kind of sounds like something I'd use to track bathroom breaks. But basically, it controls all your various connections as well as settings and configurations. It's really straightforward to use, and if nothing else, I was really impressed with how responsive it all was. There's next to no delay when switching inputs and things like that. The app actually functions really well. For myself, I will likely get everything dialed in just how I like it, and then primarily use the next function, which is a remote. And it's your standard budget type remote, but essentially covers everything you need after the initial setup and configuration is complete. So what else do we get with this one? Well, we get tone controls, treble, mids, and bass. which were actually a bit more usable than their premium offering in the H50. This unit didn't have crazy swings of what seemed like plus 3 dB for every click of adjustment, so you could easily fine-tune the sound to your liking if you're into that kind of thing. It actually also has an 8-band EQ as well as presets to choose from, so do what you're gonna do there, go crazy, turn on that bass boost if your heart really desires it. No streamer, and I'm actually glad. It's amazing they actually left something out of this one, but when I say I'm glad, it's because I would prefer to bring in my own streamer of my choosing, and in this case, I prefer the Weem streamer over their offering. So to me, it's a feature by not having the feature. I'm sure I missed a feature or two still. Actually, you know, now that I think about it, I think I probably missed that bottle opener, vacuum, as well as the coffee maker, but we'll cover those next time. My point here is that it does a lot for a little, and it's not gonna be perfect, and it's not gonna replace a high-end or even mid-range preamp, but it does have HDMI, a sub-out, Bluetooth transmitters, a phono stage, digital in and outputs, and a remote and an app. And while I can't say it does everything perfectly, I generally can't say that about more expensive products either. So if you're simply looking for a soundbar replacement plus, we'll call it, where you get a simple 2.1 setup for your TV and it can cover all of these other features as well, I can't really see how you'd lose on this one. Use this one for what it is. Before this video, the B50 with the internal amp would have ended with, it's alright, but doesn't compare to the sound quality of the V3s and AO7s and things like that, as it won't match up. But now you can connect this BP50 preamp into whatever power amp you'd like. It's an incredible budget buy, likely gets you into more features than you even know what to do with, whether you like it or not. That's all I really have for this one. I give it a recommendation for the right people. Chances are you won't find this group of features for less, especially with HDMI. Keep this one in mind for a budget, feature-rich preamp. Thanks for watching today. Please like and subscribe as I have a lot of really great content on the way. Thanks. See ya.